Hi, I'm Marcus Wild. I'm here with Coan, world famous powerlifter, and we're going to do some bench question and answer. So I guess I'll start with the very most basic. When you bring the bar out of the rack, where do you want the bar to be position-wise?
You can't hold it way down too low like you would for a shirted bench.
Okay.
Either regular single ply or multi-ply. And basically everything is you have to be 10 times more tighter, because any weakness shows up right away. So it's almost the same as a shirted, where you just got to suck up as much air as you can, squeeze the shit out of the bar. When you let it down, you don't have to concentrate as much on tucking your elbows as much.
Right.
So that it's kind of like a little bit in between and flexing your lats more. So when you're pulling, you're not sticking your belly out as much either, because you're not going to get anything out of it, because you can't let it down as much, because you don't have the leverage of the shirt when you get over.
Right.
Your shoulders roll over a little bit.
So then you still want to pull with your lats and roll it down, but not
you want
as
to
aggressively
squeeze
downward.
You want almost like a squat, where you're squeezing every back muscle together at the same time to be tight. At the same time, your butt. When you finally hit, that you're squeezing your butt as hard as you can and driving your heels through the floor. As long as your elbows don't flare out too early, it shouldn't be a problem. And the path is basically the same. It kind of goes straight up a little bit, then a slow arch back, not arch back too fast or too straight up.
Right. Now, where do you think a raw bencher should touch on their chest?
Not as low.
Not as low?
Actually, a little bit higher than normal. Right on the sternum is about the lowest you should actually touch. Okay.
And over time, I mean, you've been a really successful bencher. What do you feel?
A successful raw bencher.
Raw bencher.
Never got into the shirted as much. Get that straight before people yell.
We're talking about raw bench here, so what things do you feel helped build your raw bench strength?
More reps, and getting everything I could possible to help it as an assistance work. Close grips, heavy inclines, heavy triceps, and row till I couldn't do anymore.
Okay, so a lot of tricep work and a lot of rowing work.
A lot of tricep back work, but a lot of chest work too, because you can't have any aspect of your chest weak.
Right. Okay. I think that's all the questions I have.
And speed. The same thing. How fast can you push it from point A to point B?
Here's a good question. The speed work, did you, because Westside Barbell's a huge advocate of speed work, lightweights, bands and chains. You never worked with bands and chains.
Not with bands and chains, but I do like to do some board presses, because there's a weakness I have in there to try to get stronger. But Bill Cino was a great bencher in the old days. He was a world record holder. I think he had like a 578 or so bench when he was in his 40s raw, and he was a 3-lift lifter. And he had speed back then, but he used to do more reps with speed.
Now, how did you focus on building speed then if you didn't use bands and chains?
It was how fast I can push it from here to here. So you wouldn't take as much weight, but you'd concentrate more on going nuts on it, which is what he did.
Right. Did you find that put extra wear and tear on your joints when you go up and you don't have that extra weight at the top?
Not really, because the weight you would use wasn't so low. You would do it more for. The speed work was in those days was more as an explosive power, so you use a little bit more load, which I actually like more.
Roughly, what percentage would you use for that? Because I know everyone's going to ask, what percent do I use?
Let's see. Back in those days, my best raw pause in the gym actually, which doesn't mean shit, but was 565. My best in a meet, a 3-lift meet, was 545 when I was 220, or I weighed like 218 or something, with a 2-hour weigh-in back then.
Right. Yeah.
I would say it would be about, let's see, it was 350 to 360 for sets of 8 to 10.
Okay, so
as
about
fast
60%,
as possible.
65%.
Yeah, because you don't want to get to the end and have it be slow, because then you're just teaching yourself how to be slow again.
Right.
So it still had to be fast.
That's interesting, because I had always heard that you had never done speed work, but in fact
it was different.
You did, but you didn't really call it that.
Yeah, you didn't call it that. It was more like explosive training.
Now, when would you fit that into your training? Would you do that like after your main working sets or before them? Or?
That or on my light day.
Okay. So
I would do regular bench, close grip, and some heavy inclines on my heavy day. On my light day, I would do a bunch of wide grip stuff.
Okay.
And then maybe some speed stuff. Or I would do the speed stuff as wide grips. Yeah.
Okay, so you did train actually kind of similar then, two bench days a week.
Yeah, one was heavier, one was light, and yeah, just like that. Always.
Okay. That's great. Good. Okay. Well, thanks a lot for your time.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
And
go Wild Iron.
Thank you. All right, this is I'm Marcus. I'm here with Hoss Cartwright, WPF Worlds. and we were doing our video Q&A this week, and the question is, what variations of squatting do you do to help improve your squat? I figured we'd ask Hoss since he's a world-class squatter.
I think there's a lot of different ways to build your squat. Different people have different weaknesses. My weakness has always been stability under the bar. I never have a problem coming up and down with the bar. Rather, I have a problem losing my balance. I think chain work for me is the most important because it allows me to have a max load at the top, get a big variance in instability in that bar as I go through the process of squatting. Part of the key to that is not putting any links on the floor when you're lifting with chains. And certainly if you're doing single ply beat and you're walking the weight out, I would add chains off the ground completely to walk them out. That makes a tremendous difference, and it's scary as hell, but it'll work. I think bands are important. I love using bands because of the amount of tension you can put on the bar at the top especially. The problem I have with bands is it beats you up pretty bad. You can't do it for very long. And the fact that it really pins you into a certain position when you squat, and it isn't as realistic as a free bar with chains or straight weight. That's about it.
All right, thanks, Hoss.